She looked at him gently and said, "Honey, you're fine. You're just temporarily out of order." Those words summed up a truth Kirk Douglas understood better than most men who ever lived. Before taking his final breath, the legendary Spartacus did not choose silence. He didn't take his memories or his disappointments with him. Instead, one of Hollywood's most brutally honest icons left behind a confession that shattered the fantasy of the Golden Age. A private list. A ruthless one. The 7 worst lovers he had ever known. These were not anonymous names lost to time. These were women worshipped by millions. Screen goddesses at the peak of beauty and power. But when the cameras stopped rolling and the makeup came off, Kirk Douglas discovered something far less divine. What he found were habits, fears, and emotional walls that drained every ounce of desire. The truth was simple and shocking. Sometimes the most beautiful woman on screen is the greatest disappointment behind closed doors. It begins with Joan Crawford. In 1950, Kirk Douglas pulled his convertible up to a mansion at 426 North Bristol Avenue in Brentwood. At that time, he wasn't yet Spartacus, but he was young, driven, and burning with ambition. Joan Crawford, on the other hand, was already a monument. The press crowned her the ultimate symbol of sensuality. Kirk expected a night fueled by passion, perfume, and silk sheets. Instead, the moment the door opened, romance died. The first thing that hit him wasn't her beauty. It was the smell. Sharp. Sterile. Like a freshly scrubbed hospital corridor. Joan's eyes immediately scanned him from head to toe, checking his shoes, making sure he hadn't dragged even a speck of dirt into her perfectly controlled world. Inside, the house looked less like a home and more like a sealed museum. Furniture wrapped in clear plastic. Rugs untouched. Lamps frozen in place. When Kirk sat down, the sofa crackled beneath him, the sound slicing through any lingering fantasy. Joan sat upright across from him, posture stiff, hands folded neatly, more like a strict schoolteacher than a lover. When they finally reached the bedroom, nothing changed. The same sterility. The same caution. In bed, Joan never relaxed. She worried about her hair, her makeup, her sheets. Kisses felt rehearsed. Movements were mechanical. There was no heat, no abandon, only silence and calculation. At one point, Kirk realized she was staring into space, completely detached. When it ended, Joan sat up instantly, smoothed her nightgown, and delivered the line that sealed the night's fate. "Don't let your feet touch the white carpet. I just had it dry cleaned." Kirk left quickly, gulping in the dusty Los Angeles air like freedom. On screen, Joan Crawford was a queen. In reality, she was a prisoner of her own glass cage. Then there was Marlene Dietrich. If Joan froze desire through control, Marlene smothered it with care. In the early 1950s, Dietrich wasn't just a woman. She was an idea. Smoky eyes, husky voice, legs insured for millions. Kirk imagined danger, liquor, and fire. What he found instead was beef soup. When Marlene opened her door, she wasn't draped in silk. She wore an apron, a scarf over her hair, and held a ladle. The apartment smelled not of perfume, but of simmering bone broth. She looked at Kirk with concern, not desire. "You look pale," she said. "Sit. I made this for you." In bed, she was gentle to the point of suffocation, always asking if he was comfortable, if he was cold, if the pillow was right. Afterward, instead of lingering, she disappeared into the kitchen. Minutes later, she returned with a steaming bowl and fed him spoonful by spoonful like a nurse. Kirk left full, but empty. Lana Turner came next. In 1952, they were Hollywood's golden couple in The Bad and the Beautiful. On posters, they burned with chemistry. Off-screen, intimacy felt like embracing a mannequin. Lana never removed her makeup. The smell of hairspray and powder filled the room. She posed even in bed, careful not to smear lipstick or disturb her hair. When Kirk touched her hair, she recoiled in panic. "Don't touch it. I just sprayed it." She wasn't present. She was preserving an image. When it ended, she rushed to the mirror, inspecting herself while dismissing him with a simple request to close the door so the air wouldn't dry her skin. Jean Tierney was different, and far more unsettling. In 1947, she was considered the most beautiful woman alive. But lying beside her felt like lying next to a shadow. She didn't resist or control. She simply wasn't there. Her eyes stayed open, staring past him, her mind drifting elsewhere. At one point, She asked him if it might rain tomorrow. Kirk left shaken, not angry, but afraid. Her beauty masked a deep absence he couldn't reach. Lauren Bacall shattered him in another way. What he expected to be softness turned into a rough handshake. Bacall drank whiskey, smoked heavily, spoke sharply. In bed, she was dominant, blunt, and dismissive of romance. "Cut it out," she told him. "Just get the job done." She treated him like a drinking buddy, not a lover. Kirk walked out feeling like he'd escaped a business meeting. Then came Faye Dunaway. By 1969, she embodied method acting chaos. Her hotel room was cluttered with scripts and ashtrays. Intimacy became an interrogation. She questioned motives, emotions, authenticity. She cried, accused, analyzed. The bed became a stage. Kirk was merely a prop. He fled, exhausted. Finally, Rita Hayworth. The most painful of all. In the dark bedroom, Rita turned off every light. She trembled, whispered apologies, feared being seen. Her insecurity drained all desire, replacing passion with pity. Kirk realized too late the truth Rita herself once said. "Men go to bed with Gilda, but wake up with me." He left quietly. The list ended not in triumph, but sadness. Beneath the glamour were women as wounded and fragile as anyone else. Hollywood sold goddesses. Kirk Douglas lived the truth. Which story shocked you the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and follow for more untold Hollywood confessions.